You know, he showed me that I have all the potential to touch lives, you know, and to talk to people who have been in bad situations, who have gone through bad times in their lives, who've had issues with drugs or this or that. Even kids in schools today who have been bullied or are going through.
You're in a very unique position.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't speak to them the language that you speak.
Yeah,
you can speak their language.
Exactly.
That's why you can.
And you can speak people's language, and you know where they're at and where they're coming from, you know, because from your perspective and my perspective, all through life, you know, I've always gone my own way, you know, and no matter what I did it on my own terms, you know, all my life, you know, and anything that I did where I made a mistake or something came back to bite me, I always had to deal with it as it came and make sure that I was got through it the best I could, you know, and like the whole time when I got that third DUI, and I had just started working with you guys just a few months. I just started going to school, and Scott knew, Mark knew I was going to start going to school, and I wasn't planning on being a framer. And he didn't mind that. He was letting me come to work in the afternoons after lunch and work and everything. And then I had to go spend 3 months in jail. It was part of my sentence. 3 months in jail and then 3 months on house arrest. I went a whole year. I didn't drink. I went to Alcoholics Anonymous. It was one of the best years of my life as far as being sober, and I was in the group at an age where I could be in with I was doing AA, and I was with a group of teenagers. You know, I was 20, 21, and their teenagers were 15 to 18. You know, so I kind of fell into that group, and I got to hang out with these guys, the guys that had been me, and that their parents were fed up with them and made them want to go in there and to be with people who were stopped not drinking and being alcohol free, and there was like a den mother that they'd all go back to their house, and I'd go back there with them, and we did fun family type things, played games, and you know, did this stuff, and I was kind of like the adult, like the kid they all kind of looked up to, you know, because I was still working during the day and I was doing my thing, and I was trying to change my life, you know, go back trying to lower my sentence because I knew I was going to have a big lose my license and all that. And then I went to Atlanta after I got out of jail, and I did my 3 months of house arrest at my mother's. Mark was like, he couldn't be commuting all the way to take me to work. And like Martin was coming by and picking me up. You remember Martin? He was driving and picking me up sometimes. Well, so I moved to Midtown, and I was on my own for the first time in my life. I found a little apartment there.
I remember that.
In Midtown. It was a little
right there at
Briarcliff and
Northwood Hills.
Yeah, Northwood Hills and Briarcliff. Yeah. It was a nice little road there. It was little strip malls all around.
I remember that.
And there was it was a big apartment complex. It was older apartments, and they had really good deals, like $400 a month.
I remember when you moved away from there, I'm thinking,
I know it.
That's not good, man. You were on the right road, man.
Well, the whole time where I messed up, Sky, is I had everything I needed right there. I was on the bus route, so I could take the bus and to go get my groceries or go do whatever I needed to do, or I could walk. And I walked everywhere, you know. I'd go to but what I messed up is I started drinking again, you know. We started socializing, going out socially and drinking with my friends, spending my money on stuff instead of saving it and preparing for when I got my license back. I wasn't being responsible enough. I was going back to my old ways, you know. I was working hard during the week, you know.
What does the Word of God say? If the Spirit leaves a man, right?
Yeah.
It said it goes and wanders in
Right.
dry places and finds no rest. He said, I will go back.
I always had
Clean,
Christ
right?
in my heart. You know, I always knew He was with me, but I wasn't ready to just follow Him. I wasn't ready to
Wasn't ready to be obedient.
to be obedient. Yeah, I wasn't. I knew that there was a Bible that I needed to read it, and I hadn't even started reading it yet. I just knew He was with me. I prayed to Him because, and I knew that He loved me. That's all that I knew, you know. And even though I didn't love myself that much because I wasn't doing great, you know, I was messing up. And then I met Laura. You remember Laura?
Yeah.
And that's where it all really went wrong there, because I wasted 2 years of my life spending all my money, spending all my time with her, and for 2 years, you know, thinking that I'm in love, you know, that I met the love of my life, and I was going out and drinking and doing stuff with her, and she would even drive to pick me up. And then when it came time to get my license, I got a 3-year license, a temporary license, and I decided that and I had a little bit of credit because Mark got me on the credit card at Regions, and so I started. I decided to I got my aunt co-signed on the bike, and I ended up buying the bike and the truck for the same price I would have been if I had made it just one payment, thinking I could juggle both. But the old truck broke down on me. I moved back to Ackworth, Georgia, where all the troubles began that brought me to where I was. Went back there and started letting my friends move in, and so I could get paid rent to pay for my bike and everything. And I met another girl, Jeanette, and I started, you know, it was all work hard. I was at the pivot of my life. I was at the top of my life, people. I had done all the framing, and I started a new job with my best friend Tiger over here. My best friend Tiger Smith, he's over here. This guy right here. You know, I grew up with him, and we were best friends. We started working together, and we were remodeling these 6-story buildings in Atlanta. They were rotten from the inside out. I don't even know if you ever saw those buildings.
I remember that,
And we were on the second building, you know. We were almost done with it, you know. And my truck was broke down, and I couldn't get to work without riding my bike. It was January, and I was driving to Tiger's house a lot of nights and spending the night over at his house, and he would drive me to work in the morning. And this one night I'd stayed home. I didn't go to his house, and I went up to make up with my girlfriend who broke up with me, and ended up having an accident. And my motorcycle hit head-on collision, and I landed. I was shot out like a cannon, and I flew like 100 yards and landed in the street. And I'm laying there just broken. I'm broken, people, thinking my life's over. Everything I ever thought I ever wanted, everything I had was gone. You know, at the time my life was so bad. I was juggling work and the debt from these 2 vehicles and the truck that I just was still owed money on for getting the engine fixed, and the transmission went out, and it was just everything. And nobody at the house give a crap. I was trying to get people to leave. I was trying to get rid of people. And I had kicked Bill out of the house because, you know, he was one bringing a lot of those fools up. A lot of those people were his friends from high school. It was just a bunch of mess, you know. I was getting myself back in another mess. And, you know, so at that time, I should have just stayed home. I had no business leaving the house that night. And you know, the Lord, He had plans for me. You know, I was riding around. I didn't care if I lived or died, people. I thought I just didn't think I could do it anymore. I was just praying to God. I was praying to the Lord, help me, Jesus, help me. And lo and behold, this is this way of helping me. You know, this accident happened. You know, God don't make things like that happen, but it happened, and I was alive. I was alive still, and I had to figure it out from there. You know, I had to start all over again, right then and there. And that girl Jeanette, she stuck with me. She got me through rehab. If it wasn't for her, I may not have ever made it. Her encouragement and her being there with me, because she loved me enough to stay with me. She loved me enough to stay with me through that. And I thank her. I'll never forget that. But you can't let anything keep you down. You don't have a choice, you know. But you got to have Jesus. Jesus is what it's all about. Jesus Christ. Because just a little bit of faith in Him, you know, a lot of faith in yourself. You got to know you can do it. You can do anything through Him, you know.